What up, people? What's good? Salute, salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics, comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, y'all? Sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir, with co-host Stu Dog in the building. We're here to talk about some Ahsoka. Stu, what's good?
Was good. Was good. So it's been
Man,
great.
penultimate.
Ahsoka's been great.
Yeah,
I'm thoroughly
good.
shocked and surprised. Um,
Yeah, pleasantly
love it.
surprised that Disney Plus has finally given us a Star Wars show that's decent.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, outside of
That's
Andor.
truly. Yeah, outside of Andor. Andor was good, but Andor wasn't
Season,
traditional Star Wars like they told us.
right,
But it was still good. Still
right.
good.
Ahsoka's that traditional Star Wars show, kind of like Kenobi was, and kind of like Mando, and they really hit the nail on the head. Like I said before, Star Wars has its three sort of areas of storytelling. You've got your bounty hunters and gangsters and smugglers of the universe and the galaxy, and that's one sort of type of Star Wars that you might be into, and then you've got your political intrigue and espionage and the Empire and all of that stuff is a whole nother aspect. And then of course you have the Force and the lightsabers and the mystic, the fantasy, all that cool stuff. So and I think Mandalorian encapsulates the first. Obviously, Andor is the political intrigue and espionage, and then Ahsoka kind of covers the Force and the lightsabers and all that, like Kenobi should have. And what was
But did.
trash? Kenobi was garbage.
But did. But did. Kenobi definitely was garbage. Definitely. And it could have been better had
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
made it a real Star Wars episodic adventure, but they didn't. Kathleen Kennedy has her own idea what she thinks Star Wars should be, and that's the problem. She don't want to stick to the source
Yeah,
material. She wants to, interject her own energy into it, and when she does, it just doesn't work. Never comes out right. Hasn't come out right yet. And I think she feels with this Ray movie that that's gonna turn everything around for her, and everybody's
yeah.
gonna finally accept her and accept
I
Ray.
hope.
And
Yeah. Well, I hope that movie is as eventful as she hopes it will be. I just hope that it's eventful in the way that it shows her. And I hope it does show her a lot about what the fans think about Star Wars. And I hope that it shows her that we do not care about Rey. We don't want to hear nothing about Rey. We don't. The story was trash. The character's ridiculous. We don't care. And no, it has nothing to do with her being female. Stop it. We love Ahsoka. We love female characters. Stop it. You've written a bad character. You've poorly written a character. You've poorly written an entire sequel trilogy of movies, and don't get mad at us. Stop blaming us, Kathleen Kennedy. That's the problem that I have with her. Is she blames us for being sexist or misogynistic or not liking female leads and all of that. It's absurd. Star Wars has always had great female characters. No one ever had a problem with it. No one has a problem with it. We don't have a problem with a female lead. I have no problem with a
no,
female taking over the position of Luke Skywalker, becoming the new Luke of the canon. That's fine. Just write it properly. Give let her have her training and let her, become a Jedi, not just instantly wake up and she's doper than Palpatine. Come on, bro. This is ridiculous. Like, come on. No other. See, the thing is like no male characters ever had an arc like that. No male
no,
characters were ever super powered instantly like that. And I think that's
no,
the problem. Like, nobody's mad that they're female. We're just mad that they're poorly written.
exactly. 100%. 100% agree. And we can stamp that one. If Sada was here, we'd stamp it.
That's right.
But I think
Uh,
it's yeah, it's like people say she wants to turn Star Wars into She Wars. She doesn't want to need original characters in Star Wars. If you
right.
don't want that, give us something new. Like that's the part I don't get, Reno. If you don't want none of the old characters, you say they're dead, their time has come, it's time for us to leave, then why did you make those trilogy movies all about those other characters? Why we just didn't get a whole new series with all new characters
Right.
and a good written story? Like that made more sense to me than anything else.
I mean, that's what we wanted. That's what we was hoping for, and that's what we, that's what everybody was excited about the trilogies and all of that. And you know what I'm saying? Like that was cool. Like we wasn't mad at that. Like we was happy. And even when I watched Force Awakens for the first time, I'll admit it. Like I left the theater happy. I left the theater excited. I thought it was the greatest thing. I was like, "Oh man, this was great." I mean, they 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 captured the magic of the original trilogy with their, with the live effects and all of that good stuff. And yo, what's good, Black Heroes Club? You got the link if you want to come in. And the effects, and all that stuff. Corey, I just salute. Slade, we didn't say what's up. Peace, 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 peace.
Slade
But yeah,
King, yes.
it is what it is. But Ahsoka, this episode, episode 7, it's the penultimate episode. It's the episode before the last one that comes next. And next episode is obviously the finale. But this episode was cool. Like you said, Stu, it was great. I mean, it's been fun. And I think this episode definitely could have been. I'm not gonna really say about the episode, but the series itself could have been longer. Just a little bit
Yes,
kind of
I agree with that.
miffed that it's,
I do agree with that.
yeah, that we're already at the end, and this is all, and we've only gotten so far. Um, but let me see if I can why didn't
Oh, and while you're doing that, Loki season 1 is on Blu-ray and DVD. Go out
yes.
and get your copy if you want to see it in superior picture and sound, which is much more superior than streaming. I don't care what none of y'all say if you want to see it in its 24-bit rate glory with all the detail and clearness. Go buy the disc. It's out. It's on Blu-ray. The ones I seen only came in the steel book, collector steel book. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'll be picking it up sometime this week. And in preparation for season 2 of Loki.
Yeah, it's good shit. I can't wait. I think it's one of it. I think it was the best Marvel. What do you call it? Marvel show that we got, and I can't. I was definitely anticipating this new season because it looks good. And the what's his name? The main character. Hold on. Are you guys? Can you see me? Okay. My computer
Yes,
froze up.
yes.
My computer's like glitching on me. But nah, but Ahsoka, what were you guys expecting? Uh, the climax. What do you guys? What were you? Because last week we had episode 6 was ended with Grand Admiral Thrawn, sort of bracing for Ahsoka's arrival at Peridia, and this week episode 7 we just she shows up. Yes, a few fights, laughs, callbacks, semi-revealing exchanges unfold along the way. But this season's penultimate installment is first and foremost an exercise in getting the rest of the gang back together for a future, climactic, confrontation. And also, don't forget, Stu, this show, again, like these Disney Plus shows, they're foreshadowings and lead-ins and tie-ins and events for the crossovers for the movies, and this is all building up to a Thrawn movie. So
Mm,
you got to remember that, and
mm,
so people. the plot holes, things aren't tied up and loose ends and blah blah blah. Yes, the show's gonna end with loose ends. It's gonna end with untied up conclusion, because it's setting up for a movie. So the Thrawn movie will answer all those unanswered, leftover, you know, plot plot plot. No, I'm not gonna say plot holes, but plot cliffhangers. Uh, Name of the episode. Oh yeah, that movie. The Creator is out, bro. I was starting to. We'll talk about that in a second. But
I
yeah,
want to see that.
Moons and
I want to see
Madness.
that.
It's called. Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, it looks good. But yeah, Dave Filoni, the writer, obviously, and directed by Geeta Van Zant Patel. Classic setup episode. It saves the series powder for the big finish. In traditional TV fashion, because again, this is a show, and hey, even Andor was not above some low stakes chess piece pushing right before its finale. It's okay. No character is more committed to figurative chess playing than Thrawn. He is the strategist. So everything is set up ahead, right? Moves ahead. In some respects, then this week was a letdown. If you have been waiting to find out what Balin Skull's scheme is, what he's been up to, you're still waiting. If you expected to see Sabine come clean to Ezra about how she got to this galaxy, didn't happen. Why do the great mothers, the witches, serve Thrawn? What's in the box, right? Make that many boxes that Thrawn has ordered to be transferred to the Chimera's cargo hold. Who's going to get back to the main galaxy and how, right? Because remember, they're still stranded. And, Filoni is not ready to divulge those answers yet. And again, there's a movie to be made. And as yet, Balin tells Shin Hati, impatience for victory will guarantee defeat. Impatience for victory will guarantee defeat.
That is
Truer
true.
words were never spoken. Yeah. And of course, patience doesn't guarantee victory, and a satisfying finale is far from assured. We know Disney, but for a fairly inconsequential episode on a plot level toward the end of the season that still has a lot to resolve, it is a fast-moving, mostly entertaining episode. I thought it was cool. All the intrigue in Ahsoka is centered on this planet Peridia. Naturally, episode 7 starts on Coruscant, where Hera is facing a court martial. Remember, she's there and she's like in front of the council, and she's
Yeah, yeah. C-3PO
yeah.
comes in.
Mm-hmm. That was dope. That was cool. That was a cool little. And Anthony Daniels, what's his name? The guy that plays
Anthony
Secret,
Daniels.
Anthony Daniels. He was mad. They actually made him audition.
Nah, you serious?
Yeah, like what? Like why? Who? Why would Anthony Daniels have to audition to be C-3PO?
Man, he's been in C-3PO for how many years?
He is C-3PO. Like
Yeah.
it's like
And
I mean,
man,
addition to be myself, he created the character for what it is. I mean, for all intents and purposes, what we know about it, the way C-3PO is and shit, he created that.
yeah.
He played C-3PO since the beginning. Didn't quite get it at first either. In fact, according to the 1983 book Star Wars: The Making of Return of the Jedi, uh, he was actually insulted when his agent told him about the audition. He said the call came a mere 18 months after Daniels began acting. This is the original movie when he originally had to audition. And he said a man called George Lucas is making this film, and he'd like to see you. And Daniels had watched American Graffiti, and it was, he was interested, but nobody got the role. Like a lot of people, when they heard the Star Wars role, like they didn't get it. They didn't understand what the movie was going to be about. But the rest is history. We know how that goes. But yeah. So Hera's there, and she's facing the court martial. her recent defiance of orders, that she when she went AWOL and to help Ahsoka and Sabine. So Mon Mothma is there, right? Everyone's favorite Star Wars character. Mon Mothma oversees the proceedings, aided by an unidentified human, a Sullustan, an officer who looks a lot like Admiral Akbar. And I'm not
Mm.
suggesting that all Mon Calamari look alike, uh, but
I mean, that's pretty
mhm,
close. That's
hey,
pretty close.
yeah. And less happily for Hera, this Senator Ziono is there. He's being a real dick. Right? He's doing a great impression of an imperial plant. And in his sort of manner and his sort of droid discrimination, right? He's like says something just derogatory about C3PO, and but yeah, they go through that. We know the situation's serious because she's not sporting her usual goggles, her leather jacket, and her flight suit, but her dress slacks are no less form fitting than the orange ones that gave some
Hmm.
Ahsoka viewers the hots for Hera. um but yeah, the director previously directed the Lord of the Tides episode, probably the best episode of House of the Dragon's first season. Great show, by the way. Yeah, but that episode also featured a fraught court hearing, which sort of played out much more dramatically and violently than Hera's. But yeah, the less scintillating Ahsoka scene at court contains two main items of interest. So we had the latest in a litany of examples of the New Republic underestimating the threat of the Imperial Remnant, right? No one believes that the Imperial Remnant's going to be any problems and all of that, and Thrawn and the first is Captain Tiva's Kid Adimundi esque interjection. What about the conflict on Mandalore? Although there is a nearly endless list of past conflicts on Mandalore, he's clearly
Yes.
referring to the latest one, and the Mandalorian's secret base showdown with Gideon, whom Senator Jomo dismisses as a warlord acting on his own. And that would seem to settle the uncertainty about when Ahsoka takes place, because a lot of people, when does this take place exactly? After the third season of The Mandalorian. So yes, it did indeed take almost a dozen years for Ezra's pals to try and take the same means of transportation to Peridia that he did. Why? Who knows? Why they didn't try the Pergil method before? The big whales, when they knew that's how he got where he went. So who knows? But they finally did it. Speaking of sensations, just as Hera seemed destined for a decrease in rank, she's bailed out by C3PO, who rolls in uh, as like a dope lawyer, just to come in
Yes,
and
he
sort of,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. On behalf
And
of Princess Leia Organa.
mhm, rolled in and said, I do not need to show you identification. Uh,
Yeah, he came in like, y'all know who I am. Step
yeah,
back and back up off me. That's how he
word,
came in there. He came in like a
word,
boss.
boss. Yeah, he rolled in like a boss. And yeah, and he was representing Princess Leia, Senator Leia Organa. So in episode 5, Captain Tiva invoked Leia for the first time in the Mandoverse series. Because this is kind of the Mandoverse, right? That's what they're calling it, the Mandoverse. All the Disney Plus stuff, I guess, is Mandoverse. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we
I
gotta
know.
give it. Gotta give it some name. We gotta call it
Yeah,
something.
I dig it. I dig it. Mandoverse, that's cool. Um, as long as it's similar timelines and stuff. So
Okay.
so yeah. Senator Organa says she can only give us cover for so long. That's what uh, Captain Tiva told Hera, and so evidently that cover extends for quite some time because 3PO's claim that Leia sanctioned Hera's mission, backed up by what must be a fabricated or at least slightly doctored transcript, assuages even the sputtering Jono, and later we know the New Republic's myopia. Concerning the First Order will prompt Leia to form the resistance. I mean that's how it comes to be, and but for now she is still working within the system as the Defense Council's leader. And obviously it's kind of odd that Leia doesn't attend or dial into the hearing with herself by hologram or whatever. But hey, it, maybe they couldn't cast her. I don't know. They didn't want to make a 4-year-old little Leia. I don't know. They like to make Disney princesses. So I'm surprised they didn't put her in here, but who knows? I'll take a kind of contrived 3PO appearance over a CGI resurrection of Carrie Fisher any day. So that I'm fine with that.
On that one.
Yeah, it's not a problem. But meanwhile, en route to another galaxy. So Ahsoka, she's on the way to go get Thrawn in this one. They're still floating. We had this. She was doing her sort of like training with the slow motion lightsaber exercises, looking very clunky and very not. I don't know who's choreographing the lightsaber stuff lately, but it's different. And what they said, Stu, like when the in the prequels, the really great lightsaber fights and how they're whipping the lightsabers around really fast and flipping them and all of that. They were these really thin little sticks, right? Really thin little sticks that they ended up putting CGI on later and making it into a lightsaber. But what the actors wielded were these thin little rods, and so they were very easy to whip around. Now they're actually using actual lit up lightsabers, like lightsaber rep. And so they're heavier, they're not as easy to whip around, and so that's what a lot of the theories on like why the choreography, the fights aren't so great. Yeah. And it makes sense, I suppose. But I don't think the trade-off.
Back to that.
Yeah, because
back to those little sticks.
They need to. Because the only reason they're doing that is because they like how the light of the lightsaber glows off the person's face, right? So they want it to have a really lit up. So they like the effect. But my thing is like you could do that in post. Like you could create that effect. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
you can't create that. You
I
can't
do know when I watched the making of Return of the Jedi, they said that they had to change the color of Luke's lightsaber.
Oh yeah, for the back in the day.
Yeah, because it didn't show up too
It
well
wouldn't
against
pop against the
it didn't pop against the background. That's the first time we ever saw a green lightsaber.
Right.
Because they said that so maybe in this one maybe that's the case. Maybe like you said, the way it lights up and everything just makes for a better special effect that they don't have to CGI in and pay for it.
Yeah, my thing is like I don't know. I think a better sword fight is more important than glowing faces.
I agree.
That's just me.
100%.
And
No,
I dig I like the glowing face effect. It's really cool. But again, I think you could do that in post. I think they could easily put a blue light on someone's face. It's not hard. It's CG. I mean, come on. Look at what they do. All the stuff they accomplish, they can't put a light on someone.
They could. They
can.
I don't know, man. They just being lazy. I don't know.
They
Maybe
just
it's
like
you know
they
what it
want
is?
to.
I think because you ever notice when they do that, they do a close up. Like they do a lot of like striking and then they stop and they push each other's lightsabers and they try to show the emotion on their faces.
And I feel like couldn't they just do that?
You know what I mean?
They could do the lit up lightsaber thing for the close ups, but the actual fights they should let them use
the sticks.
The sticks, man, because it looked fucking cool, man. It looked really badass. Like the way that they were whipping those sabers around in the prequels was just new. We'd never seen. In the original trilogy, we just saw how Obi-Wan and Vader fought and Luke, and it was very Vader's like a robot, Obi-Wan's like a really old guy, Luke's just very new to it. So nobody was really adept or badass with sabers in the originals. It didn't get dope until the prequels, but I think it was one of the coolest things, man. And so I think it's a big mistake to leave that out because these fights suck.
Yeah. Now, if you ever watched that Star Wars Reimagined where Obi-Wan fought Vader, that's dope.
Oh yeah.
The way they
fought. What do you mean? We played it on here a bunch of times. Yeah, man. That shit is
peak. Man. I watch it a bunch of times. I watch it. I still watch it now because I think it's just so dope. the
Yeah.
way they did that. Whoever did that and put that was dope.
Oh
That was
yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
They need
for
to be
sure.
on the Ahsoka crew. You know, doing those,
Hmm.
helping them with lightsaber fights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so but she's on there. She's on there. She's practicing her lightsaber, shit, and I don't know. It wasn't that cool looking to me. I thought it was kind of made her look not that as good as of a swords person, I guess. But anyway, the exercise reminiscent of training sessions with a flesh and blood Anakin in the Clone Wars and Tales of the Jedi, which was phenomenal. Tales of the Jedi, one of my favorite Star Wars things ever. And that's recent. So we saw that. We talked about that. That's the recent animated joint, the one with the young Count Dooku and all of that. Young Ahsoka. It's really good. Um, and that sort of comes to an end shortly before the Purgil, the space whales, as they're called, drop out of hyperspace and receive a rude greeting. The last leg of the path through to the planet where Thrawn is and everything, Peridia, is littered with mines. There's just these space mines floating to catch, spaceships. Precaution taken by Thrawn to prevent anyone from, any other whales and shits from following or approaching that planet. And so the poor space whales, uh, they do a total stranger a favor by giving her a lift to this new galaxy, and their reward is running into this minefield.
Yeah, that's minefield. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, just getting bust up left and right. And fortunately, star whales have thick skins and they could take a little bit of a blast. So they escape mostly unscathed into hyperspace. They just take
yeah.
off
It
one at
was
a
like,
time.
yeah, it's like we out of here. We can't deal with this. You on your own.
And left them on their own too. There's left Ahsoka and Hu Yang just chilling by themselves. Uh, Hu Yang, by the way, like, what's up with that name? Well, why is there a droid named Hu Yang? This is my problem with Star Wars with Disney. You're giving us all the aliens look like animals of some sort. Like I remember it first when in Mandalorian when the guys came in looking like Georgia bulldogs, heads look like bulldogs.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, that's kind of on the nose. See, like George Lucas's aliens resembled some Earth creatures in a way that science and evolution would dictate a carbon-based humanoid life form to look like. But it's not on the nose, straight up, you know, a giraffe head on a fucking guy. Like it's not that spot on, and Disney doesn't get that.
right.
So Disney's aliens are all animals,
Yes.
anthropomorphic creatures, and it's
And I'm
trash.
with you. I don't know why. Maybe because you know what? I think they think it's cute and it attract kids and they can use it to sell toys.
Yeah,
But most of the people buying the Star Wars figures are
that's what I don't
our
like about it.
age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about it. It's like these animals for kids. But the reason I said that anyway, the reason I brought that up because the name Hu Yang, I was just thinking about it. The alien or the droid. All the droids in Star Wars have a number, like they're IG-88, C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-88, right? They've all got numbers and letters and shit. This
Hmm.
guy's name, he's got a name.
Yeah.
It's Hu Yang. Huyang. Hu Yang. Why does this
Mm-mm.
droid have a name that has no numbers in it? That's not Star Wars. It's like smoking a fucking death stick. You don't smoke death sticks. It's not a cigarette. But
Yeah, I understand.
these Disney Star Wars folks do not know anything about Star Wars, nor do they care to find out. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, cool, you don't know about it, fine, but find out. Do your research. You're writing about it. You're doing it. Find out about it. I mean, for Christ's sake, shout out to Norrin Rad talking about. He said they should have let
Appreciate
Ezra
it.
be stronger with the Force all that time out there. He would have had lots of practice. All he did was weak force pushes. I couldn't agree more, Nornrad. It was
And where's his
very
lightsaber? That's what I was
okay.
at. Where the hell is his
So
lightsaber?
he all right, so Sabine had his lightsaber and he refused to take it during the fight. And it kind of didn't make sense, but like I was like, okay, the way a Jedi is to their lightsabers, the way a Marine is to their rifle, right? You know, in boot camp, they never leaves their side. They would never let go of their weapon. Um, you know, and for him to be without it that long and to finally get his lightsaber back, he would have immediately taken it back.
You'd have been taking it. Yeah, I
So,
agree.
but you know, but he they were having him do it's like a martial art, okay? It's called Teras Kasi, right, in Star Wars. And they were trying to have him do Teras Kasi, and it's basically like a martial art that, you know, is created in the galaxy by, you know, and you use your physical body and the force. It's a
Right.
combat style that he's using. And it's kind of an intergalactic, like I said, it's a martial art. It just combines physical skills with the force, no weapons, no lightsabers, and it's so but it's like for if you don't have your weapon, it's not you wouldn't use it in preference of a lightsaber, right? But throughout the saga, we've seen this style Teras Kessi used by Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. There was a
Hmm.
brief appearance in Solo movie. Apparently, it's an innovative technique that we will likely see more of in the new Disney stories moving forward for whatever reason. I don't.
Well,
But yeah, it was.
We watched Yoda. We watched Yoda do it a little bit
Mm,
in the prequel trilogy, but he didn't. He would come away. He just was using. He wasn't even using a lightsaber
using
until
the
he had
force,
to.
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was using the Force. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what Ezra. That's what they were shooting for. He was supposed to be doing this Terrace Kasi martial art. But anyway, so Hu Yang and Ahsoka get left by the Purrgil, and they take off, and basically Hu Yang's like, we're gonna get pulverized if we stay here much longer, you know, and you know, so they take off. Basically it's like thanks to some intel from an old database that they had. Thrawn finds he sort of ascertains that Ahsoka was once Anakin's apprentice. So he knows
Yeah.
Anakin, and which ostensibly informs how he handles her. Right? He knows Anakin. He knows her, or he knows how to handle her because of that, and he has firsthand experience with Anakin. Right? Because if you've read the books, and also it seems to he knows that Anakin becomes Darth Vader, and so she's unpredictable, and not many people know that, right? That's big for him to know that. A lot of people don't know that. That's actually not a well-known fact in the Star Wars galaxy that Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person. A lot of people just think Anakin died, and then Darth Vader's this other guy. No
Right.
one knows it. It's like only the intimately close people sort of really
People.
know that, right?
Yeah.
And so Thrawn, knowing that, right, you know, he said she's unpredictable and quite dangerous. He said, which means that he must, you know, take extra pains to control her. And you know, it's not totally clear that Thrawn's knowledge meaningfully affects his tactics right now, but he was plenty weary of Ahsoka, you know, before he was aware of who her master was already. So, but it will probably lead to a nice, juicy exchange when they do tangle, you know, in person, and on the and then when they get to the planet, the Noti, which is the uh have taken their trailers on the road, which you know these little hermit crab guys, right? They got their little gypsy trailers, and they and I really hate
Wagon
these,
trains.
bro. I
They
hate
little
this.
wagon train.
This
They
is the
little
worst
foot
thing,
wagon train.
bro.
You don't like them?
No, they're wearing suits. They got little pocket watches and little suits with little vests, but they can't speak.
They
Like you,
steampunk.
yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly. You're
steampunk.
steampunk, but they can't talk. They're not evolved enough to speak. Like it's just
Well,
it's Disney.
That's how steampunk people talk.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine,
that's
man.
how they get down,
It's
man.
Disney, man. When she goes into their little village in the one episode, when she first walks into their village, there's like this slow orchestral, you know, da 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 da, and she's like looking around like, oh, Like, oh, this village of these little creatures, huh? Bro, this is Star Wars. They see this shit all the time. New species. They're not gonna be like, oh,
Yeah,
a species that they
yeah.
don't
It's
care.
not Star Trek. It's Star Wars. Star
Right.
Trek, it'd be something they never seen before,
Right.
and they
They're
learn how to deal
explorers.
with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, man, it's just again another example of Disney not really getting Star Wars, just using Star Wars. They're sort of using the franchise, using the names and characters to sell their toys and videos and such. And that's why they bought it. I mean, obviously they spent $1 billion on it, not to sit around a campfire and tell stories. They bought it. They spent $1 billion on it to sell merchandise. And so that's all they really care to know. And so we have to know that. We have to understand it. I knew that, bro. Like when I found out they were buying, Star Wars from George Lucas, I I wasn't happy. I was like, "Oh God, no." Like, what? Disney? I know a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, put some money behind it." It's not the money I'm worried about. It's Disney, bro. They're gonna put that Disney on it. And they did, bro. They put that Disney on it, man.
They did.
But
They had
they
to,
did.
bro.
They
They
had
couldn't
to.
help it.
They can't.
It was itching. It was like
They really
because
can't help it.
we didn't have a little girl princess, so we had to have
Right.
something small and cute. There's always gonna be something small and cute in their movies, man.
Well,
They gotta
that's
have it.
still
They can't live without
but that's a Star Wars thing. Star Wars always had something small and cute. They always had R2D2, Yoda, right? Grogu, whatever. I mean, well, Grogu was a Disney thing, but I mean, Star Wars always had their cute comic relief kids character, whether it's R2 or whether it was, little puppets like Yoda and shit like that. So I'm not really mad at that. At them having a cute character, whatever. It's kind of a Star Wars thing. But what I'm mad at, man, is their lack of they don't care, man. They just don't care. They don't care about the product that they
it.
put their
No,
name on, you know?
they really don't. They don't. Because for them, it's a money making thing. They want to make money off it.
Yeah.
They feel it's already established. All we got to do is just throw something out there, and people will jump all over because it's Star Wars. It's not the case anymore. Now people are like, look, we want quality Star Wars, not just Star Wars, but we want quality. What are we
Right.
paying for Disney Plus for if you're gonna give us trash?
Exactly. Um, who knows, man? Who knows? But uh with this episode, dude, like there was another funny thing. You have like Ezra, well, Sabine. We've all been like, why is Ahsoka training Sabine to be a Jedi when she's not a Jedi? And like Sabine's a Mandalorian. That's like the opposite of a Jedi. It just seems really out of character for both of them. And a lot of people were like, why? And they sort of made fun of it because she tells Ezra that Ahsoka took her on as an apprentice, and he said, she what? Why?
Yeah, he's like, why?
And then he felt shitty, but he's like, no, it's great, makes sense, of course. But yeah, his reaction mirrors many of fans, Rebels fans, when they learn that the seemingly force insensitive Sabine was now training to be a Jedi. It's just again really out of character for all of them. It makes sense in terms of the show's efforts to reframe the force, but again, but it could stand still, or it could still stand to be explained a bit more fully from Sabine and Ahsoka's perspectives, because it really right now it's
Yeah,
like
it
what.
could.
But yeah,
Cause
but
even with all the episodes, even with all the little bit of episodes they gave us, and the one short, super short episode. They could have gave us that. They could have gave a reason why, like you said, they could have did a flashback or something, anything. But me personally, I feel when they make these joints, Reno, I feel like they waste time. Like I really, really
right,
do with the story, and they drag it out. Like some
right,
stuff you got to get to the point, and you got to just say, all right, this is what it is. This is what we're doing. This is how we getting down, and then we're gonna move on. But they'll give us a 20-minute episode. That was the best damn episode of the series, and it's 20 minutes. And he's like, damn, like that's how we treat it. Like you only get 20 minutes. But you won't
Exactly.
explain. Yeah, you won't go into why Ahsoka and Sabine, even when she was talking to Anakin, they could have went into it there. Why she wanted to train Sabine.
Yeah.
But
Any opportunities, man. Shout
yeah,
out to Astro Wizard. Um, my bad. Shout out to Astro Wizard with
the
the
Mara Jade theory.
yeah, with the Darth Maul profile pic. So yeah, and no, what he's talking about, y'all. So in on Instagram, one of the flyers that I put up for the show was talking about there's this theory that Shin Hati, right, the Scarlett Johansson looking apprentice from the show from Ahsoka, is sort of in a way metaphorically Dave Filoni's answer, or Mara Jade, giving us Mara Jade, because that's a character that a lot of people have really been like, wanting to see, and Ezra played live action very well. Yeah, it is really, I don't know. I don't I not really a fan of the way that they all look, but they play it. But everyone with the weird blue eyes, it's weird. But anyway, no. But what he's talking about, Stu, he's talking about the Mara Jade theory, the theory that the theory that the Scarlett Johansson chick is sort of Mara Jade in a way. Um, and I'm glad that he brought it up. And thank you for that, Astro Wizard. Shout out Astro Wizard once again. If you guys see me advertise something on the show, if you see me say we're going to talk about this or that, please, and you came here for that, please say something in the chat. Because a lot of times we'll get on a roll and we'll get to talking, and me and Stu will go on, we'll get organically, and shit'll go this way, and we won't even get to the topics that. So if you tell us, man, we will jump right to them. I have no problem, because I want to know what you guys want to know about. I can only roll the dice. We can only guess what you guys want to hear. You know what I mean? So I love it when you give us yes, leading into Legends, exactly, giving us that Legends goodness, because that's what we want. Ahsoka introduced Shin Hati as a new character, right? But a compelling Star Wars theory suggests that she is also a canon replacement for Mara Jade. And while there are several differences, many differences between the two, obviously, but there are also noticeable similarities that hint that, at Shin filling Mara's role in what is shaping up to be a canon adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. Which Ahsoka, first everyone's saying it's Rebels episode, or season 5 or whatever. And it is that, but it's also the Thrawn trilogy, or at least going that way. And like I said earlier, they are heading towards a Thrawn film, and this is going to be leading up to that. So a lot of the plot devices will break off and be ready to reconvene in the Thrawn movie. And so, but this would continue Ahsoka's pattern of balancing old and new ideas, right? As Star Wars moves towards its upcoming slate of movies. And it also leaves room to speculate on how much of Mara's story will become part of Shin's in Ahsoka, the show, and beyond, because I think that she's going to be in later projects, maybe even the Thrawn movie, whatnot, or her own thing, or in another thing. But so Mara Jade, okay, by the way, who ends up being Luke Skywalker's wife and mother of his child, okay, first appeared in 1991's Heir to the Empire, which is the first book of the Thrawn trilogy, which introduced Grand Admiral Thrawn. Again, that's back in 1991, and since she was once the Emperor's hand, right? She served Palpatine without question. After he died at the Battle of Endor, she went into hiding and became a smuggler. So she was first an apprentice, not a Sith per se, but definitely the Emperor's hand, right? And she becomes a smuggler. Also, and Palpatine's last command was for Mara to kill Luke Skywalker, right? That was her, and she begrudgingly helped him against Thrawn. Eventually, Luke and Mara fall in love and they get married, right? And Mara's story may be exclusive to the Legends continuity, but there's a lot there's many ways for Shin to replace her in canon after Ahsoka, replace her, a lot of her deeds and a lot of, stuff that she did and things like that. Sort of, so they're young female force users, both of them, obviously, who work as sort of hired guns. They're mercenaries in the post original trilogy timeline, right? So right after the original trilogy, when Luke is becoming Legends Luke, right? All of that badass shit that goes on, all that Legends, good Legends canon after the Death Star explodes and all of that. And Shin is a mercenary and Mara is a smuggler. And, they also serve older, more powerful masters, right? Shin follows Balin Skoll on his quest to end the galaxy's cycle of war. And uh, Talon Karde, right, is not more powerful than Mara in a literal sense, but he did take over the remnants of Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire. And um, finally, Shin and Mara are trained to use the dark side, both of them, but they aren't stuck in it, right? They aren't Sith yet. Does that make sense? Like they use the dark side, but almost like as a gray Jedi would use the dark side.
Like sort of like Ventress, like Ventress.
Like Ventress in a way, but yeah. And they both have, a tough exterior, that sort of, tough way about them with a softer core to them. Yo, shout out Raw Talk. What's good? Peace.
Raw
Family night
talk.
duties.
Peace,
What's
peace,
good?
peace.
Yeah,
We
man.
get
Come
it.
in
We get it.
anytime.
We understand.
But hey,
Yeah, we
yeah,
understand.
exactly. Do I think Balin is gunning for Thrawn? I don't yet. Kind of thought that I don't know what Balin is after. I really don't know yet, man. And I don't
Nah,
want to
nobody
speculate.
does.
He's
Yeah,
dope,
because
though.
he's
He's
he's speaking in riddles,
yeah.
and he's
And he's
just
like
yeah, he's
seems to be
speaking in
after some
something
power,
else. Yeah, he's after something. Well, yeah, because remember
you
when
know.
he left his apprentice, he was like, "Look, you go take care of that. My path lies that way. I gotta
Right.
go that way." It's like
Yeah, and he was
whatever
like,
I need is that way, and it's something on that planet that he's after. I just
yeah.
don't know what it is yet. Man.
I
I gotta
know,
figure
because
that out.
he told Shin, he was like, just stick with me, and it's gonna be some power. We're gonna come into some power, basically. So I don't know, man, what he's on, but but yeah, Mara Jade, bro, is a great character, and Shin is Balin Skull's apprentice, but she's gonna do, and she's doing a lot of the things Mara's doing in a way, and I think it's not like she's gonna marry Luke and all of that. She's not Mara Jade in that way, but she's that dark side young female force user who is kind of on the fence. And in this episode, it's sort of in episode 7, it's sort of hinted that Ahsoka might help Shin redeem herself in a way, which would make her even more like Mara Jade in Legends. And Luke eventually, able to get through to Mara and train her as a Jedi, and then they get married, like, and have the son Ben Skywalker, and it's a whole deal. And there's books, there's a whole series of novels with her as Ben Skywalker's mom and Luke Skywalker's wife. She becomes, a quote unquote good guy. And Shin's rivalry with Sabine Wren suggests that Sabine could, might get through to her in a way like Luke did with Mara in the Thrawn trilogy. And if she does turn to the good side, she'll join the heroes and fight against Thrawn. Maybe even Luke himself might be coming in. And that's
Mm,
another thing we're going to talk about in a second.
that's something I think is going. I think Luke's gonna come in sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, it's only one more episode, so we'll see. But she could be trained as a Jedi by Ahsoka or Luke. We'll see how closely she does replace Mara, or as Mara. So it'll be exciting to see if Mara returns to Star Wars. Shin replacing her is ultimately better for the franchise. Characters like Thrawn could easily have their stories reworked to fit in the canon timeline. But the same can't be said for Mara. Her role as the Emperor's hand, her relationship with Luke, A lot of the crucial aspects of her story would not work in the current Disney canon that they're trying to stick with. So Mara Jade is a character that probably won't come in by name, but we'll get characters like Shin who portray that trope, if that makes sense, right? Portray that sort of character in a way. And that's what I think we're getting out of Shin. And that's what Dave Filoni is giving us, right? Karen Kennedy fucked up the canon. She said no
Yes.
more Legends canon is not canon, right? All of that, the games, the all of that's not canon. We're doing something new, and she fucked us. All the shit we've been building on for decades, bro. Reading these books and bonding with these characters, and Luke becoming this godlike Jedi, right? And then ends up drinking walrus titties. So hey, but yeah, having Shin fill her role brings back elements of Legends.
It
But
does.
it does something different with them to create a new character. So it's like Filoni can hide it from Karen Kennedy. He can hide the fact that he's giving Legends stuff. He can give us Legends canon like they did, like Andor. There was stuff from Legends canon in Andor. There's a lot of stuff from
Mhm.
Legends in these shows, in Mando, in these shows that Dave Filoni and others are sneaking in, right, under assumed names and code words, and just not saying this is from Legends, because that, again, I guess the plus side of Karen Kennedy and her ilk not knowing shit about Star Wars does work for our benefit in that way, because it lets Dave Filoni sneak things under the radar, and she will have no idea that that's from Legends that she said wasn't canon anymore. She won't know any better. All they have to do is just make it fit. And that's what they're doing with this character. They're making it fit. They're giving us Mara Jade without making her Mara Jade, if that makes sense. And so Ahsoka's Shin
Interesting.
Hati can be, yeah, she can be a great canon replacement for Mara Jade. But it remains to be seen how much of the stories will overlap and how much Mara Jade will get out of
Screen
Shin.
time. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense. I was talking to a bunch of Star Wars fans the other day, and they said that when you read the books, like one of them came with a good point. He said that modern day Star Wars movies have jacked up the whole timeline. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, what's your point? He was like, you gotta understand, it's a whole timeline. Like it goes in a certain order,
Yeah.
and things come in a certain order at a certain time, and they happen a certain way. And he said it unfolds the way it unfolds. It unfolds in a certain way. And he said they jump forward and then they go back and then they do this. And then he said, and then they pull a lot of stuff from Legends and try to act like it's not from Legends, like it's
Yeah.
something they made up. And
Yeah.
he told the one guy told me, he said he used to be a nighttime security guard, and he said he used to carry the Star Wars books with him. He said I would read one a night, like one every
Mm-hmm.
night. I said I would take a different one, and he said I still
Yeah.
have them. And he said they were the dopest things he ever read. And he was talking about he
Yeah, they're
talked
great.
about Thrawn. He said Thrawn has a deeper storyline in the Star Wars than you think. Like he said, Thrawn is really really deep. And
Bro,
he said you could do a whole show about Thrawn by itself.
it's
Just Thrawn. Like
three
when
there's three novel trilogies about Thrawn. There's three
yeah.
trilogy. There's three Thrawn trilogies. A lot of people think there's a Thrawn trilogy. There are three Thrawn trilogies. The first one is about Thrawn after, when Luke Skywalker's there and Mara Jade and all of that stuff that's going on. He's Grand Admiral Thrawn working for the Emperor, and he's this badass admiral, and he's dope, right? And then the second trilogy takes us back to when Thrawn is first introduced to the Empire. He first meets the Empire and meets a cadet and makes his way up the ranks, and that trilogy is about him making his way up the ranks to become the Grand Admiral, right? And then the third trilogy goes back even further to his younger days as a Chiss warrior before he even meets the Empire. And so
Right.
you could read them in the opposite order that they were published, and it would work in that way. And yeah, it's a lot. Dawn is a way more than people know. He's not just a mustache twirling villain like they sort of made him in the show here, with this old guy, but he's actually way doper.
Nah, nah,
I was kind of
absolutely.
yeah, I was let down to see him with the gut and the receding hairline and kind of old and like I wanted to see Thrawn as Thrawn, like badass Thrawn. But it is what it is. I get it. He's been on that planet stranded there 10 years, whatever. No provisions, no. So he's in remarkably good shape for I guess his circumstances. So it is what it is. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. But yeah, Dave Filoni has already introduced a lot of elements from Legends. Um, he does create his own stuff, but he created Clone Wars. He created Rebels. He created Ahsoka. It's his invention. All of that stuff, all those shows, all that stuff that we saw in the Clone Wars, and that's all Dave Filoni already. He's not like new to this. He's not
No.
just making these shows for Disney. He's the guy. He was George Lucas was like they were like chilling, right hand man type shit. And George Lucas was right there with the production of all that stuff. He was even there. George Lucas has helped him with, on set with Mandalorian and stuff like that, and he's been around. But the thing is like Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas do not they don't like each other,
Mm.
and they'll get along, and they won't let you know, but they don't like each other, and you can tell, and they don't, so. But Dave, on the one hand, he's got his own Dave verse, the Filoni verse, that he created. But at the same time, he's very loyal to George Lucas and the original story and the original trilogy and the whole lore and like everything he created. He run it by George and be like, "Hey George, is this fit? Is this right?" Blah blah blah. So he's yes and no. Yeah, he does create his own stuff, but also he is very much giving us legends and stuff that we already know and love, which is cool. And at the same time, creating his own shit for sure. And I can't say it better myself. Astro Wizard, they damn sure need to fire her ass. Honestly, she's not. She's doing her job. It's just she's not good at it. She's not good at Star Wars. She's good at her job. She's a great producer. I mean, she's done all these great things that we love. So it's not. She's not just. I get why they keep her around. You know what I mean? But she's not the
Right.
one for Star Wars. She's not the one for this. They should have gave this to somebody who was let Dave have the reins, man. Make Dave the
That's too
CEO.
much. Because you got to get. They want to get some credit out. And not say that Dave did this, and somebody up top will be like, "Well, let him keep doing it. This is how it should be done." And you don't have a say no more. that's that's her.
Horrible.
I think that's her biggest nightmare because she doesn't want
Yeah.
to fold or concede.
Yeah. I mean, and Dave Filoni is often celebrated in the fandom for his willingness to dive deep into the depths of Star Wars lore. Like that's what we love about Dave Filoni. He's well known for that. He does that. And it goes a long way with the fans and appeasing, the fans who remember the expanded universe of the 1990s, right? The legends, all the games, the books, the comics, in my opinion, the heart, the meat of Star Wars. The movies are cool, but the movies are just, in my opinion, they're just icing. Like they're cool, but they're like, okay, that's a live action adaptation of the shit that I already read about. Because if you're not doing the books, you're not doing Star Wars right. If you're not doing the comics, you're not doing Star Wars right.
That's true. True.
If you ain't playing the game, speaking of the games, Knights of the Old Republic, Coder, it's coming. There's, I know there's some static going on. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Because that's a game that honestly, in my opinion, it made me a bigger fan of Star Wars than I ever would have been. It made me go read the books. It made me want to know more. That game is so good, dude. And matter of fact, it was actually Coder 2 that really sucked me in. Coder 2, the
Well,
the Sith one.
I hate to I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they say they think the game's in trouble. They're
Well, I know. I
having
know.
problems
I
having
know. We're gonna
problems
talk
and
about it. I know we it's light at the end of the tunnel though. But you're right. You're right. It's problems. And yeah, we're gonna touch
But
on it.
I'm with you. I'm with you though. I think it's just all hype, and I think in the end, um,
Because why
it'll
wouldn't
come
they
out.
make it? Yeah, I mean, why
Yeah,
wouldn't they make it? Come on.
yeah.
It's hype, man. It's just
Um,
making everybody hungry for it, and that's cool. Go ahead and do that. But I know it's like it would be stupid. Like, why wouldn't they make it? And somebody's gonna do it. Because again, it's like it's everyone's favorite game. You know what I mean? It's often called the best game of all time. Like Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Knights of the Old Republic are often called the best games ever made. So it's up there. A
I
lot of
can agree
fans
with that.
love this game.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And with the reintroduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn in the latest episode of Ahsoka, it's very likely that Dave Filoni is now planning a loose adaptation of the 1991 novel Heir to the Empire, a nice movie, maybe even a trilogy. If he's smart, he's going to adapt all three trilogies into a nice
Mm,
film trilogy. Ooh, that would be so
mm.
that would be so
That
dope.
would be yeah, that would be dope.
Bruh, you have no idea. But that I would love to see that. I would love the Bane trilogy. Honestly, if there's one thing that I could ever have, my dream Star Wars adaptation would be the Bane trilogy. No question, hands down. If I could, if I could wish and have any Star Wars anything made into a movie, it'd be the Bane trilogy. But I digress. With Disney's acquisition of the Lucasfilm, and its production of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, it's now become impossible to adapt Heir to the Empire exactly as it was written. So they can't do it beat for beat anymore because it won't fit with the canon that Disney's created, which is disappointing for a number of reasons, especially for fans of one important character from the expanded universe, and that's Mara Jade. And she was introduced in Heir of the Empire as the second in command for the prominent smuggler Talon Cardi, and but her backstory is very sinister, right? She's definitely she was known as Emperor's Hand, as I said before, and she's
Mm,
yeah, she was an agent directly under Palpatine. She was like his assassin, and she, in classic Star Wars fashion, however, she, defied her shady past to become a Jedi Master alongside, the greatest hero, Luke Skywalker, and while time may have passed, Mara Jade by, there's still other opportunities to honor her legacy that we talked about. So, there's a lot of things that they can adapt around the stuff that this new canon has sort of made impossible, but they still need to recreate these
yeah,
amazing books, man.
because I think she doesn't want to do it because she thinks it'll outshine like her vision of Star
Of
Wars.
course it will. I mean, it will. But she also what I don't get is why she wanted to do this anyway. If they would have it has to be she has to have beef with George Lucas. She has to it has to be personal. Because if you would have just stuck to Legends canon, she would have got all the female empowerment she wanted. There's lots of female characters in Legends, strong ones,
Yeah.
powerful ones. There's no reason to do what she did. She acts like Star Wars is this just all men's club, and all the women are just second hand characters. Like what? This isn't that. This is Star Wars is not that. There's franchises like that, plenty of them. Go mess with them because Star Wars never was that. Star Wars always had the strong females, man. So if they would have stuck with it, she could have even been happy with it. But she's messing with I believe she has beef with us, the fans. She don't like us. She don't like the fandom.
She
She
doesn't.
hates us. She hates
She
us. She
don't.
wants to piss
She
us
don't
off.
like none of the original characters. She wants to
Nope.
kill them all off.
Yeah, I mean, look what she's
Um,
doing with look what she created this Ray character, and now she's getting ready to come out with this Ray movie, and then that's gonna fuck up. They were making Dawn of the Jedi, bro. Dawn of the Jedi. So
mm,
if you guys haven't read Dawn of the Jedi, if you haven't so that's the comic that tells you. how the Jedi come about. Like before they're called the Jedi, right? It's a whole other thing. Like it's very dope. And they're making it into a movie, and she got her paws in it, and now the director's all adapting it to fit the Rey canon. Why?
Yeah.
Why does something 30,000 years before the Death Star have to have anything to do with Rey? It should not. No one's family line, the Skywalkers are not involved, the Palpatines are not involved. None of these people are even thought of yet.
Right.
So, man, just, but Legends canon has a lot of fruit that that
I
Filoni and
keep
them
hearing.
can, yeah,
I
they can
keep
they
hearing
can
it.
they
I
can
keep
they can
hearing it.
use stuff. They can
Like,
use stuff without.
and it's like everybody I talk to that have read those books, they all say one thing, that they wish they would have made movies out of those books, because they all say that those books are so good, and they're so detailed. Like they're like, man, trust me, you got it. And everybody said the same thing you said. You gotta read them. There's like, "Yeah, you gotta read them. Like if you read them, you're gonna be blown away."
Yeah. Yeah. And my only problem, Astro, with the High Republic is it's made by these Kathleen Kennedy, these social justice warrior types. It's
Yeah.
they're the ones talking about they have a character that's a boulder. They have a rock. He's literally a rock. They have death sticks, and they smoke them. They lay and they puff on smoke on death sticks. Anybody that knows about death sticks from Star Wars knows that it's a drug. It's a vial. It's a little
It's
capsule,
a
right?
vibe. Yeah.
It's injected. It's not a fucking cigarette. He's a geode. Okay. Well, that's what I mean. Like he's a rock, but still. But yeah, but that's my point. High Republic is just it's more of those people that don't, and on purpose. It's not a mistake that those people don't know about Star Wars. They purposely, and I read this, they purposely hired people that did not know about Star Wars, were not fans of Star Wars, didn't have any Star Wars background, because they wanted to get a fresh take. Well, they got it. They got a fresh take. All right. They got a take that has nothing to do with Star Wars, man. And I mean, I will be honest, everything I know about High Republic, it made me not even read any of it. I'll keep it a buck. I haven't read any of it because no. Um, from what I understand, they keep all the war out. There's no war whatsoever. It's
Oh,
Star Wars, but there's no
that's lame.
wars whatsoever. There's no
Yeah,
Sith
that's lame.
whatsoever.
Yeah, that's lame.
It's just the
That's lame.
Jedi, the High Republic. There's just the Jedi fucking with bounty hunters and smugglers. It's basically being cops, and
Mm.
it's a way. It's a story about the Jedi when they were the police of the galaxy, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, when like like I always say, when do we ever get what we want?
Oh, really? I heard that there was by design purposely no wars in High Republic era. I mean, I know because yeah, the High Republic. That was the whole thing about the High Republic. There was no war
There
in
was
that
no
era,
war. Yeah, it
but
was peaceful.
yeah, I don't
Mm.
know. Maybe they it culminates to one. I don't know, but who knows, man? Like there is a lot of extended universe stuff out there, and there's still good. There's still other stuff that's not High Republic that are in the comics. There's a lot of comics that are not High Republic. There's a lot of books that are not High Republic. But if you like High Republic, no, nothing wrong with that. It's just another era in Star Wars, and there's been a lot of eras, and that's cool. You can go back and read books and comics about all the different eras. Like I said, the dawn of the Jedi era, where when the Rakata were the evil in the galaxy, and they were the big bad. That's a whole era. Then there was the whole era where the Sith become into power, the emperors and Exar Kun and all the big giant larger than life Sith emperor gods and all of that. They sort of run shit for couple of
Yeah,
thousands of years, and then yeah, and then you get to the old republic and all of that, and then and then you get to the high republic, and then you get to the prequels, and then you get to the the original trilogy, and then you get to the Mandoverse, and then you get
man,
to
over shit.
I hope that they retcon all of this sequel trilogy shit, all of that Ray, all of that Snoke, all of that shit, Luke being a hermit, drinking out of walrus titties, and Palpatine coming back, all of that needs to be scrapped. They need to say that was an alternate timeline, whatever, and World Between Worlds, Dave Filoni, the World Between Worlds, could save everything. He could retcon everything. He could just take us to another fucking timeline, dog. Another multiverse. Let all that shit and let's jump over here. Let's do that. Let's have different multiverses. Let's do the Legends multiverse. Do that whole thing. Go to Cade. That's another thing. Look up Cade Skywalker, Cade, Cade Skywalker. Luke Skywalker's like great grandson, and he's dope. He's like this dope. It's got a whole comic series, man, and that's where I learned what death sticks were. But yeah, he's a death stick addict.
Oh,
Yeah, Cade. But yeah, he's like, is he a bounty hunter or a smuggler? He's something. I don't know. Cade. He's like a pirate. He's like a pirate, something like that. But he's dope.
is he?
Yeah, there's some dope Sith and all kinds of cool shit in that, man. But y'all, we did the damn thing, man. Thank y'all for coming, man, and chopping it up with us. It is 8:15, and Stu Dog has to go fight crime, so we got to wrap it up, tighten it up, and we'll be back Monday though, y'all. 7 p.m. every Saturday, every Monday at 7 p.m. We'll be chopping it up with y'all about the latest, dopest comics, hip hop news, and movies and things. Right now, Ahsoka is going on, so we were talking about Ahsoka on Saturdays, but it is also DC Power Hour, and we did not really talk about any DC because we really just went super deep into Star Wars.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we do. And don't forget, we got Loki coming up too.
there's a lot of Star, but there's a lot of
Isn't
DC
Loki?
shit.
It is a
We're gonna
lot of
talk about
DC
Loki
shit.
Monday. Yes, Loki
Yeah,
for
yeah, we
sure.
got to talk about Loki. Yeah, but
Um,
there's a lot of
there's a
DC
show
shit
called
coming.
Gen V that just came out. You know the
I
boys,
seen
right?
that. Yeah, I seen that Gen V. I don't know
So
if I
the
want to watch it.
it's
I
it's
don't know.
it's good. It's good.
Is
It's
it?
good. Yeah, it might even be better than the boys. It is the
Damn.
boys. It's a boys spinoff, right? It's a spinoff from the boys. Um, the first 3 episodes they came out on Prime Videos, and they're very, they're just like the boys, very obscene, very violent, very, you know, um, but yeah, it's not for kids, for sure. But yeah, the depravity, the depravity showcased by Homelanders and Butcher's teams definitely carries over. But this is more of a college atmosphere and a collegiate atmosphere. Um,
Mm,
but it's part of the boys cinematic universe, I guess they're doing. And it's called Godolkin University, and it basically has like it's like My Hero Academia. It's like a school of supers. It's like a college for superpowered people that got the Vought, took the Vought drug or whatever that made them superpowers. And yeah, there's some weird characters. You got the bloodbender chick. She sprays her own blood out and manipulates it. It's weird, but yeah, it's some cool stuff happens. But yeah, it's pretty dope.
mm.
There's 3 episodes out. It's called, like I said, it's called Gen
I'm
V.
gonna have to check it out. I'm
Um,
gonna check.
yeah,
I seen it, but
Arnold
I'm gonna have to check it
Schwarzenegger's
out.
son is in it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Check it out.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, I'm definitely gonna check it out, man. I'm a big fan of the boys. The comic, I loved. I thought the comic was some of the
right,
dopest stuff I ever read. It's
right.
real radical, real off the wall. I had never read nothing like that before.
Oh, did you hear about the big collection of comics that was stolen? The FBI, the big Golden Age collection.
Nah, from where?
Yeah,
Who?
dude, this big. So James Strand was a longtime collector of fantasy and horror comics, and a lot of Golden Age comics, right? Really old shit. and he died in July and just shy of his 88th birthday. And he left behind this incredible collection of comics and books and other shit. And tragically, after he died, his entire collection was stolen, and the FBI is involved in hunting down the whole stolen works, and the heritage auctions who Strand used to frequent over the years is doing its job to help and stuff like that. But um, yeah, dude, it was crazy. It's like millions of dollars or whatever. They said the library was pristine. The rest of the house uninhabitable, but the library was pristine. Trashed, sofas turned upside down, crap all over the floor, and there was no light anywhere. It was a little grim. He was into horror, as you know, and we called the house the Little House of Horrors. End quote. And so, yeah, the house is boarded up, but every night it would be broken into, and more items were stolen. And basically, his entire collection was stolen. And I guess they just left all the shit in there, and someone just was breaking in and stealing it all. Um, yeah, the FBI got involved though. It was this guy named Scott Brown of Portland's Downtown Brown Books became concerned about Strand's welfare, and when suddenly a bunch of his books started being inscribed to Strand, started appearing on the market, to be bought and sold, and including some books that were very rarely ever sold by
Mm.
anyone. And so Brown assumed that Strand was just being robbed. And when he discovered that Strand had died, Brown got more involved in trying to recover his lost collection. And he began to compile a list of the stolen books. And he contacted the Portland police. And Brown had worked with the FBI's art theft division in the past, so he contacted the and the FBI, and the FBI is now directly involved in the case. And the feds even
Mm.
released a statement through Joy Giras, a bureau spokesperson. The FBI is looking into this. She said, "We normally don't confirm that, but we have reason to believe that this collection has made its way onto the market. So we're alerting booksellers to be on the lookout." But yes,
Could you could you
some
imagine, bruh? You
oh
bought a book, something you always wanted, and it came up. It was out of that collection. You beat. You can't
that
get your
was
money back, but you
nope.
gotta get a book.
You got to.
Yeah,
That would suck,
sad.
man.
Yeah, that I would be pissed. Like, highly pissed and demotivated.
9.6 slabbed up air fighters.
Damn,
Some old shit right
damn.
there. 9.0 boy comics. It's just some old, like, this is August, what is it? 10-cent comic right there. 10 cents.
I
Um,
just seen a facsimile of that in on my LCS.
of this?
Yeah, they did it. It was a facsimile. They did it. It was
Oh,
like a
wow.
reprinting of it. Yeah,
Huh.
because I
Wonder
didn't know what
why.
it was. I
What's,
was like, boy. I was like, damn, I never. I was like, hold up. So I was flipping through it. I was like, this look kind of dope. I would like to
yeah,
read that.
yeah. Crime does not pay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Killer Lepke Lewis Buckalter. That's a real guy. Esposito brothers and the Mad Dogs. That's real people. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Lepke Lewis Buckalter. That's a real gangster. That's funny. Daredevil. Look at that. The greatest name in
Damn,
comics.
look
Dude,
at
that's
that, man.
old.
That is old.
This is way before Daredevil that we know. Look how he looks. He's half blue and half
Half
red.
blue, half red. Yeah.
Looks like Deathstroke or something a little bit. Introducing in this issue Daredevil's The Little Wise Guys, the Claw Sniffer, Dickie Dean, and the Pirate Prince. The Claw Sniffer. The Claw Sniffer. Oh, that's nice. Where? Fight Comics. 10 cents. Oh, it's very stereotypical propaganda there. Of World War II anti-Japan stuff. They got
Mm.
yeah, there's a whole list of stuff, but these are just there's no good pictures. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Weird Tales, 1929, 1924, Weird Tales. Wow. Imagine having a book from 1924.
I would love to have a book from 1924.
That's
I'd slab
crazy,
it, tag it, I'd hang it on my wall and put a frame around it. I'm not
bruh.
gonna lie.
No matter what it was. Yeah, a lot of these shits 1930s, 1940s. Whew. That is a hell of a collection.
Hmm.
He said, "Watch Gen V, the boys
Oh, I'm gonna
spinoff.
watch it.
It's
I'm gonna
crazy."
watch it, Nora. We
He
gonna
ain't
talk
lying.
about Gen V. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. We definitely
Yeah,
gonna talk
yeah,
about it.
absolutely. Um, but yeah, man. A lot of cool shit. A lot of cool shit going on with DC right now. That I guess we'll have to talk about Monday because I know you got to go. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but there's a
Too
new
busy for
Batman's
that.
got a new character, Crytoon.
I
He's
saw that.
he's a new villain. Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that.
But he's weird. He's supposedly bringing like cartoons, violent acts of like cartoons into real life, in like really violent ways and stuff. So could be really something really cool. Like but it really kind of fits. It kind of fits his, rogues gallery, his Jokers and Riddlers and this kind of shit. Yeah, he's definitely out of the Disney trash can, but yeah, it could be cool. It's coming out in it's that Batman Gargoyle of Gotham #1 that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, I think I sent you the trailer for it, and they're pushing that gargoyle
Yeah.
out really hard.
Mhm.
They're pushing that really hard.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one. It's I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the art style in the comic. But
No,
no, it's not really my style. I don't really like it. But
I don't know. Chip Zdarsky has a new. He's getting ready to do a new storyline for Batman as well.
yeah, Chip
I was
Zdarsky's
reading
dope.
in I was reading the CSN. I'll have it all for you Monday. We'll definitely go over that Monday because
Yeah,
that
there's a
last one
lot
he
of shit.
did with what's his name, Failsafe, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Feel safe was dope.
Yeah, Failsafe was real dope. So we'll see what he has next in store for Batman. Hopefully, it's just
Yeah,
as
yeah.
good as I ain't gonna even say hopefully. It probably will be just as good as Failsafe. That was a good storyline. I really like that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, look at these. So these are actually some of these are actually not bad. Real quick before we go,
Did you also
10
see the
joke.
postcon? Did you also see the
Huh?
postcon that they? Did you also see the postcon where they're supposed to be coming out with the retro Wakando?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
some of the figures they're gonna make them card backs. They're gonna make them the card back figures.
Mhm. Yeah, they got the retro Wakando, retro Scarlet, retro Duke. Um, yeah. I already ordered the Shockwave and the Dreadnoks and them guys and General Hawk.
Retro. They said retro
But
torpedo. Oh,
yeah,
and
retro
the
Eel.
retro eel, retro snowback. And the greatest news I heard was that the cardbacks are no longer going to be Walmart exclusives. Because remember how we were
Right.
like, yo, like we hate the Walmart exclusives. So now we'll be able to get them anywhere, and that'll be something that we can scoop up.
Yeah,
We ain't gonna
yeah.
go to Walmart, and Walmart never has anything.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
these
your
the,
Walmart, your
yeah, my
Walmart,
my Walmart does
your
sometimes.
Walmart is
Yeah.
an
But
exceptional
these
Walmart.
are 10 actors they said casting the Joker for DC for Batman, I guess the reboot for James Gunn's Batman Brave and the Bold, and they're some actors that they have a list of actors that they I guess are a popular choice for Joker. You got some interesting choices here. Bill Skarsgård, obviously the weird kid, the weird looking dude that played in uh in
Oh
It,
yeah,
played the clown, played
yeah,
Pennywise rather. Sorry, in It. And then you got Steve Zahn. I don't see it. Why him as Joker? No, thank you. No.
No.
Steve Ulrich. No, nothing
Moving
there.
right along.
Johnny
Just moving right
Knoxville.
along.
No, thank you. No.
Definitely no.
Christoph Waltz. I'm interested. This dude right here. I love this dude. I love
I could
this
do
actor.
Christopher Waltz. Yeah.
I
I
love
could do
this
Christopher.
actor. He was fucking dope in the first movie he's in with the Glorious Bastards and Glorious Bastards.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
dope. And then Django, totally different character. He's an amazing actor, dude. His chops are insane. He's not he's not just like a one trick pony. Like he can play anything. He's an extremely versatile actor. And he's got a look like the Joker.
Yeah.
He reminds
I
me
can
of
look at
the classic comic book Joker face. Got the long chin, you know what I mean? He fits it. He fits it. But I'd be interested to see it. Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, no.
No.
I'm not
Definitely not.
no.
No.
He's a great actor,
Just
but no.
keep him.
Yeah,
He's a
Nick
great dude.
Cage.
Keep going.
Come on.
No.
It's too no.
No.
Willem Dafoe. Now this guy played the Green Goblin. And if he
And
don't
I'm
look
gonna
like the
always see the
Joker,
green, right? But I'm always gonna see the Green Goblin. He played
but
a
he's
great Green. Let's keep
but
him
he's
where. Yeah, let's
yeah,
just keep him where he was at.
he's too
Yeah, he was good.
Green Goblin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's keep him where
But
he was at.
he is rumored to be playing a version of the Joker in Joker the what's it, the musical shit with
The musical.
yeah the
There
sequel.
you
So
go.
he's rumored to be a version in that movie, but we'll see. Macaulay
That's gonna be
Culkin.
a great. No, hell no.
What?
No. No.
No, thank you.
They reaching now,
Crispin
bro.
Glover.
They just.
Crispin Glover is
I could
a
kind of
dope
go with
actor.
that. I could
It's
go
an
with Crispin
interesting
Glover.
choice. I could
Yeah,
go
I
with
can go with
Crispin
Crispin
Glover.
Glover. Yeah, I can go with that.
Out of this whole list, he's weird enough. He's weird, dude. He's definitely weird, and he could definitely play the fucking Joker. Crispin Glover, Christoph Waltz, everybody else on this list, please don't do that. Please, no.
Mm-mm. We don't need that in our lives.
No,
You're right.
we don't need that. Yeah. But yeah, man. Guys, Stu, you got to go. I know, so we will wrap it up. We'll see you guys Monday. Y'all be safe. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you guys for coming, everybody, and we will see you guys Monday, 7 p.m. Peace.
Peace.